Hello, Vinyl community. How you doing? It's Bill with the Vinylverse. I'm back from my trip to Charlotte, North Carolina. I was gone all last week, from Sunday through Saturday. Got home late Saturday night, about 8 o'clock or so p.m. Kind of recouped yesterday, Sunday, and was back at work today. And this is the first chance I'm getting to film this video and talk about the awesome meetup I had with just great guys from the vinyl community. So before I went down, I let a few people know that I was coming to Charlotte, people from that area, and was trying to get everyone together to have a meetup. And I'm so thankful and happy that it worked out. And Tuesday of last week, I was able to meet up with Dave, Local Bandography, Chris, Tunes from the Man Cave, John, the Digital Gramophone, Dylan from Repo Records, and then also Chris's friend Josh, known as Take Me to Birch, over on Instagram. Really cool to meet fellow VC members, and these guys are just terrific guys. All their channels are linked below, so if you're not familiar with any of them, please go check them out because they're all awesome, great guys, great channels, and I just had a great time. And I think everyone involved did too. So it was really, really fun, really cool to meet Dylan, Chris, John, and Dave, and Chris's friend Josh. So I'm so happy that everything worked out the way it did. Tuesday, later in the afternoon, I took a ride to Repo Records in Charlotte, and kind of had a little mini dig by myself. Awesome store. Dave, Local Bandography, actually doesn't live too far from Repo Records. He always speaks very highly of it, and I was happy to get there. Yeah, even though I was by myself, it was a little earlier before we were supposed to meet. Got there, pretty much went through everything in the entire store, and I ended up picking up two things. First is Errol Garner's Concert by the Sea. This is 1956, and I can't figure out exactly what pressing this is, but it is an early pressing. Out of all the records I've picked up, this is the only one that I've been able to listen to thus far. It's a 6i Columbia. Great solo performance by Errol Garner on the piano. Always enjoyed this album, and I'm happy to have found it. And really good price. So this was $6, I think it was. So very cool to pick this up. And the other thing I picked up there is Jean-Michel Jarre, Oxygen. I've been looking for this for quite some time now, and they had a pretty decent copy there, so I grabbed it. This is on Polydor. So this is kind of electronic, ambient, good album. Happy to have it. So I had told Dave that I was going to go to Repo Records, Local Bandography Dave, that I was going to go to Repo Records, and he said if I'm going to be there past a certain time to let him know, and he'll come over and we'll meet there. But I got through the store before that time, so I ended up going, getting a bite to eat, and then meeting everyone over at Lunchbox Records Great record store in Charlotte. I'm sure you've heard these guys talk about it before, but awesome store. So happy to have been there for the first time. So I get there, and Chris, Tunes from the Man Cave, and Dave, Local Bandography, and John, the Digital Gramophone, the three of them were already there. So I walk in, and we get to meet, and that was awesome. And I'm not there 2 minutes or so, and Dave comes over to me and says, "I have a feeling you're going to want this." And he was right. This has been on my want list for pretty much since I've been back in vinyl, for about a little over 3 years. And that's this. This is Brass Shout by Art Farmer. I have never seen this in the wild, but I'm well familiar with the album, and I have been looking for it. This is a Japanese press. Awesome find. So happy to have this. Actually, this pressing is not on Discogs, so I'm gonna have to enter this into Discogs, but really stoked to have this. So thank you, Dave. These guys seem to really know my want list here, and I was surprised when Dave handed this to me, but awesome to have this. And this is a little, has a bit of a big band sound, but it's hard bop, and it's awesome. So it's Art Farmer, and then you got this cast of characters is just amazing. You got Lee Morgan, Ernie Royal, Jimmy Cleveland, Curtis Fuller, Julius Watkins, Don Butterfield, Percy Heath, Philly Joe Jones, Bobby Timmons, and others. So, awesome. Great pickup. And I think this was $12 if I remember correctly. So, after that, everyone's kind of looking through the records and talking and having a good time. And Dylan from Repo Records came and showed up, and it was awesome to meet Dylan, and great guy. Every one of these guys are all just fantastic. So it was cool to meet up with Dylan along with the rest of them, and I continued to dig, and I came across Electronic Meditation by Tangerine Dream. This is their first album, and this originally came out in 1970. This is a 2017 reissue. I believe this was a Black Friday Record Store Day of 2017, if I remember properly. So this was open. They also had sealed copies, but this was about $8 or so cheaper, or $7 or so cheaper. So I opted to get this copy. Looks great. Really great shape. Doesn't look played really. So stoked to have this. And I picked up a few more albums at Lunchbox, and believe it or not, they're all sealed, new releases. The first is this Creation Encore, the third Evolution. This is a 75th Blue Note release from 2015. Originals of this, go for big bucks. So I was happy to get this copy. I just want the music, so you know, a little bit cheaper, and was, yeah, happy to grab this. So this originally came out in 1963, I think. Yeah, 1963, and I said it was a 2015 reissue. So you got Lee Morgan on trumpet, Gretchen Moncourt III on trombone, Jackie McLean on alto sax, Bobby Hutcherson on the vibes, Bob Crenshaw on bass, and Anthony Williams on drums. So another just awesome lineup here on this. So real happy to have it. Obviously haven't had a chance to open it yet. The next thing I picked up was 80th anniversary Blue Note release that just came out, and it's Doing Alright by Dexter Gordon. I have another 80th anniversary Blue Note, where is it? Playing right here, introducing Johnny Griffin. Great album. These 80th anniversaries are really well done. The only real issue I have is the inner sleeve is paper, and it seems to be really grabbing onto the vinyl, so it's real staticky. But sounds amazing, plays amazing. And Preston Palace, I think, in Germany. So that's awesome. They did a really good job with these. So I'm happy to have Doing Alright by Dexter Gordon. Another awesome lineup with Freddie Hubbard on trumpet, Dexter Gordon on tenor sax, Horace Parlin on piano, George Tucker on bass, and Al Harewood on the drums. So happy to have that one. And the next thing I found is Evening Star by Fripp and Eno. So Robert Fripp and Brian Eno. This was their 1975 release, and this is a 2014 reissue on DGM, which is Robert Fripp's label. And so yeah, this is awesome. This is kind of ambient, electronic, and real stoked to have this. I've never ever seen an original before, so when I came across this in the store, I quickly scooped it up. So that's what I picked up from Lunchbox, and before Dylan had to head out for the night, he actually had his family out in the car, so he could only hang out for a short while. But again, it was awesome to meet him and hang out with him for a bit. He said, "I got a record for you." So went out to his car, and lo and behold, he said he recently got an original of this one, and he is passing on this 2016 reissue, and it's them again. So thank you, Dylan. Very cool to have this. I'm excited to give it a listen. So of course them with Van Morrison, and it's got several covers on here. Put a Spell on You, I Got a Woman. Yeah. So thanks so much, Dylan. Real happy to have this, and just appreciate you giving it to me. Means a lot. And once again, it was great getting to meet up with Dylan, and just a really awesome guy. The hardest working record digger there is. So after Dylan left, we hung out for a little while longer at Lunchbox. I think everyone was kind of done digging, and I was still kind of going through everything. So they patiently waited for me to finish up. They were all very gracious, though, and very didn't have a problem with it at all. So once we were done there, local bandography Dave knew of another place called Tip Top Daily Market, and it's a market with a food truck and I guess kind of like a bar. But they also sell records, and you know, they allow people to DJ and stuff, and it was awesome place. Real happy that Dave took us there. I had already eaten, so the other guys grabbed something to eat and did some more digging. And I forget who it was. I think it was Dave again. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong if you're watching this. But Tangerine Dream was on the wall, and they came over and handed it to me. I believe it was Dave or John, maybe. This is Stratosphere by Tangerine Dream. This was their 1976 album, and I'm pretty sure this is a reissue from 1981. So very cool. I've been wanting this one. So my Tangerine Dream collection is growing, and that was one of my goals of this year. So real happy to have this. This is on Virgin, and there you go. It's the Virgin label. So excited to get this one. I tell you, that Tip Top Daily Market, going through those records, it's just stuff that I don't see up here in this area. So it was really cool to go through there and seeing all this stuff that I never see. A lot of great psych. I mean, I could have spent a lot more money there, but I had to, after what I bought at Lunchbox and Repo, I had to pump the brakes. Yeah, awesome place. So I have 3 more things here. The next 2 are thanks to Chris, Tunes from the Man Cave. He's like, I'm happy to spend your money. He kept finding things and putting them in my stack. And we had a laugh about that, but I'm thankful he did, because he found some couple of great albums here. First is Gene Aman's Brother Jug from 1970. This is a Prestige release. It's a stereo copy, and I haven't been able to listen to it yet or get it cleaned or anything, but love Gene Aman's, and Chris really talked this one up, so I'm looking forward to giving it a spin. So, pardon me. So Gene Aman's on tenor sax, Sonny Phillips on organ, Billy Butler on guitar, Bob Bushnell on bass, and Bernard Purdie on drums. And then on the last song on side 2, you have Junior Mance on piano, Buster Williams on bass, Frankie Jones on drums, Candido on conga, and Prince James on tenor sax. So this sounds to me, it might be a little like soul, funk, soul jazz, funk jazz. But yeah, really looking forward to giving this one a listen, and being that Chris recommended it, I know I'm not going to be disappointed. So Gene Aman's Brother Jug. And then maybe the steal of the night. Again, thanks to Chris, Tunes from the Man Cave. As I was digging, he comes walking over again, and he just puts this in my hands. And it's the incredible Jimmy Smith, Home Cookin'. This, what was this, 1961? Yeah, 1961 release. This is a 1962 pressing on Blue Note. Whoops. There you go. So RVG stamped. New York labels. I think I already said, but it's 1962 pressing, so it's, you know, pretty early pressing. Excellent condition. So really, really happy to have this, because this is a phenomenal album. And I mean, Jimmy Smith has put out a lot of great albums, but this one and Chicken Shack are two of my favorites by him. So really, really happy to have this. Thanks again, Chris. So you have Jimmy Smith on organ, Percy France on the tenor sax, Kenny Burrell on guitar, and Donald Bailey on drums. So, Home Cooking, the incredible Jimmy Smith, all in Blue Note. And the final thing I found, still in the shrink. This was a great find too. Long time want. I never see it for this price. I always see it for a lot more. So got it relatively cheap. But it's Crazy World of Arthur Brown, and this came out in 1968. Even though it's in the shrink, someone taped their name here, Penley. So I'll be taking this shrink off, and that'll come off with it. But been wanting this one for a long time. It's on Atlantic, the green and red labels. Let's see here. Happy to have found this one. Crazy World of Arthur Brown. This is kind of in the psych realm. The drummer is a very young Carl Palmer. Carl Palmer, of course, of Emerson, Lake and Palmer fame. Great drummer. He was a member of this band. As a matter of fact, Carl Palmer is touring right now. Something like the Carl Palmer ELP Legacy Tour or something. And Arthur Brown is actually singing vocals on that. So it's kind of come full circle for him. But yeah, really happy to have that. And that is everything I've picked up on my trip to Charlotte, North Carolina. So Chris and Josh had jumped out a little earlier at Tip Top Deli Market, and John, Dave, and I were still kind of hanging out and pardon me, looking through the records. And then don't remember what time it was, but we called it a night and said our goodbyes, and it was just an amazing night for me. So each one of those guys, they're all great. They were all incredibly friendly, generous. We had a lot of laughs. It was just awesome to meet up with them, and so happy that we were able to get together. So Chris, Dave, Dylan, John, thanks so much for meeting up. Meant a lot to me. It was nice to meet you guys in person. And we'll do it again next time in Charlotte, I hope. So I just had a blast with you guys, and thanks for making it happen. So one unfortunate thing, I had tried to set up another meet on Wednesday with Chris from Dixieland Farm. And it just didn't work out. Family issues prevented us from getting together. So one of these days when I'm in Charlotte, I'm going to meet you, Chris, and go to Dixieland Farm. So bummer that didn't work out, but really happy that the other meetup did. So yeah, had a great time. Nice visit in Charlotte. Happy to be home though. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to getting this stack of records cleaned and spinning on the turntable, because a lot of great stuff here. Happy to have all this. So everyone go subscribe to Chris, Tunes from the Man Cave, Dave, Local Bandography, John, The Digital Gramophone, and Dylan at Noble Records. who I know you all are already subscribed to because he has, I think, close to 5,000 subscribers. But yeah, go pay a visit to each one of those guys. Great channels and great guys, and you won't be disappointed. So everyone, thanks so much for watching. I'm back now, and I'll be having some more videos soon. So everyone take care, and I will talk to you again soon. All right, thanks. Bye.